NEGA! Controllers are just essential to the gaming experience at this point. It's a fact of life. Without this guy, what else are you gonna do? On. Start. Oh, come on, please. But what do you do when game controller prices are high and your bank account is not? Yeah, hi, I'd like to take out a loan, please. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to buy a video game controller. How do you know? Hello? Hello? Yeah, they hung up. Or you look the other way. Just this once. Replica controllers. Yes, controllers that aim to emulate the original company's designs one-to-one with no shame. Now I want to say, we aren't talking third-party controllers here. No. That's a whole nother episode for another day. We're specifically talking controllers that just would not hold up in court. They're like the kids in school who try to be like somebody else to be popular of controllers. Let's cut to the chase. Gaming is an expensive medium, right? I know, if there was an award for stating the obvious, I'd win in a heartbeat, right? My point is, there still seems to be a pretty big pill to swallow just to play Shadow the Hedgehog in peace. And that's just the GameCube. Don't even get me started on modern gaming controller prices. Yes, I'm looking at you, Microsoft. So what do you do when you just can't justify this? You know, adultery really isn't so bad once you get used to it. The Replica controller. The controller for broke teens and unknowing, oh no, parents everywhere who just think, good enough. If you haven't noticed yet, I actually happen to fall into one of these categories. So yeah, I use some of these controllers myself. I'm sorry. We all have our own personal flavor of shame. Now I'm gonna do these in order of system release, cause you gotta respect history or something, I don't know. Let's start with the NES Classic controller. It is pretty cool. Too bad I only have this replica of it. Well, it would have cost me, let's see, about £30 or $41 in good old freedom money to get one. So yeah, so for starters, no Nintendo logo. Please don't run. Okay, one more bitch, then I promise I'll be nice for a bit. Start, select A and B, all use the most generic font I've ever seen compared to the original controllers. And yes, I am complaining about controller fonts. I think I'm going to call my therapist after this because I don't know what direction my life's heading in. But the font still sucks. Oh yeah, and A and B are supposed to be in the corner of it instead of in the middle like they are. Ugh. Alright, I'm done. So the D-pad is pretty nice. I gotta say, it does move in every direction you'd want it to every single time, and it feels pretty quality for something this cheap overall. A and B also feel really substantial. Not too clicky, but not too squishy. You can really feel that this controller was made for 2D gaming and really pushed controllers forward, even back then, even if it's a replica. Start and select are also nice and rubbery like the original, even if the text is still completely and utterly soulless. There's gonna be a massive downside, isn't there? Well, let's hook this up to the Wii and play some NES games to find out. Alright, let's just play some Super Mario Bros., a good old classic. What the fuck? Okay. Alright, let's try out with Mario 3, you know, best of the NES titles. Okay. It's not a good sign. I'm gonna cheat a little and use a weird mode so I can get into an actual level, but I can't move. I can't. I'm so sorry, Mario. Well, there's my answer. This is miserable. Yeah, so this thing suffers from something called phantom inputs, and to put it simply, this thing thinks that it's a Wii Classic controller, and as you can see, the Wii Classic controller has analog sticks. This does not. So what's basically happening is this thing is reading false inputs from analog sticks that just aren't there. So it's basically useless. The SF200. Is that a mole? Oh, guys, it's a nipple. When I was making this video, I just thought it looked kind of funny. What's gonna be your excuse? Now to just connect this to one of my many Bluetooth devices. Now to get a AAA battery. Now to try again, only to realize I don't know how and there's no manual. Now to just look it up on YouTube because it's the modern era, and if I can be on YouTube, I can certainly use it. Now to realize this thing uses a proprietary wireless network that isn't Bluetooth and is designed to work with a console with one more zero at the end of its name. Okay, so I'm 0 for 2 today, but I can still talk about the buttons, right? Please don't click off. Well, the face buttons do feel pretty good. I mean, all things considered, they are actually concave and convex like the original face buttons, so that's a nice attention to detail. The D-pad feels pretty bad, though. It feels like one of those plastic toys you win at a fun fair, you know? And the accuracy, like, from what I can tell by feel anyway, wouldn't be too great in gameplay, man. This feels like one of those stiff, cheap toys you could find for like $5 anywhere. Yeah. Ooh, maybe that's what the nipple's for. Start and select a rubbery on this controller too, but not good rubbery. Bad rubbery. All squidgy and stuck like they're in quicksand, and they're just not fun to press. It's like I'm trying to force down a bug under a tissue or something. The analog stick just feels like a Switch 1 with more restricted movement. Like, it doesn't go as far up or down as I'd want it to, even left and right. Like, it just feels like a Switch analog stick with more restrictions. Yeah. Yep, you too. Please tell me this video isn't just gonna be full of shitty controllers. I can hear you all grumbling by now. Don't worry, it's about time we got something good anyway. It's hard as shit to find GameCube controllers nowadays, am I right? It feels like you gotta buy a console just to get one, and even then, most of them just come with Mad Cats and PDP gremlins that crawled out of some 30-year-old's basement. It seems like a lot of third parties, for better or for worse, like to make their controllers for first-party consoles unique, which has varying levels of success. Now, this is normally just done to satiate the Nintendo ninjas and avoid that courtroom at all costs. But I will say, sometimes they do genuinely make the controller better with the quality of life improvements like, you know, added thumbsticks to all the D-pad based controllers. Which I never really liked personally. I feel like they get in the way, and if I wanted sticks, guess what? I'd play with the standard controller, not a classic attempt at imitation. Now, a wise man once said, if you see a blank spot where the Nintendo logo is supposed to be, fucking run. But I beg to differ. That's right, niggas. I got a weird opinion again. But this is my channel and I like what I like. That's right, I like replica controllers. Wait, don't click off the video yet. Hear me out. As a broke NEET with a less than successful YouTube career, I'm sure you can imagine money doesn't come easily. And when it does, I'm not exactly itching to give it all plus my firstborn son to Nintendo, especially for some old crap they haven't sold officially since before my inception. Which leaves me with only one option if I want to experience the classics. Fraud. Yep, controllers that just can't bring themselves to try and hide it anymore. Now I know what you're thinking. If this guy doesn't even have a real GameCube controller, why should I trust him with my gaming content? You shouldn't. Anyway, point is, expensive console gaming market plus me equals compromise. And compromise, I did. I love this thing, man. I know. I wasn't expecting me to be nice either. Now this one, I'm not actually the most qualified to talk about how it stacks up to the original, since, you know, I've never owned it before, but I have used one at a friend's house, so I can say based off those experiences. How did they not get sued, man? This thing is awesome! So first off, the big question, rumble. It's here, and not only is it here, it's not rattly, it's not loud, and it's fully functional, and it feels good. And that is not standard for controllers like this, if you ever picked one of these up. Normally they'd have at least one of these three problems. Either it makes the controller rattle, it makes an audibly loud rumble that you can actually hear, or the rumble is so weak you can't even feel it. I'm happy to report that this controller is more than good in that department. The rumble is more than present enough to be substantial without feeling cheap or causing annoying sounds or rattling. Because nobody likes that. And that's the top.
Now the face buttons, well, they are made of hard plastic, and I know that sounds bad, but I actually kind of like it. It feels like all controllers nowadays try to go for a soft or clicky type of button, and yeah, I like those too, but these feel really substantial, you know? Especially the A button. Feels like I could go to town on this thing all day without worry of damage. Hell, the Hulk probably couldn't mess these buttons up, man. But don't take that as these buttons being stiff. They push down exactly how you want them to, and it just makes for a more solid build quality and experience, honestly. Speaking of the build quality, you would have seen that tradition coming, I know. And yeah, I gotta say, the plastic used obviously feels inferior to the original release. What? In my clearly professional opinion, only slightly. The controller itself still feels great in the hands and doesn't have any widespread replica problems, especially with wide controllers, mostly just lacking a battery. You know, they don't feel substantial, they feel light, they feel like toys. And I'm honestly surprised to tell you, it doesn't even suffer from that problem. This thing feels weighted in the hands. Like it actually means something. Why don't you care, Mom? Now the D-pad is the GameCube D-pad. It exists. It got the participation trophy. Let us never speak of this again. In all seriousness, it's okay. Like typical GameCube D-pad issues. It's too small, it's a bit mushy, but I wouldn't say it's anything worse than Nintendo's offering, to be honest.
Lastly, I want to talk about the pressure-sensitive triggers, and god damn it, give me a reason to hate you, I need content! Yeah, these triggers are Christ-like. How boring. The triggers click just when you want them to. The pressure sensitivity in games like Mario Sunshine, even on Switch, after a couple of Nintendo fans decided to riot, works like an absolute dream, man. They have a nice substantial click to them when you reach the bottom of the trigger, so you won't be misreading any inputs anytime soon. And it just feels nice, man, like butter. But yeah, overall, this thing is a GameCube controller. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I couldn't find not one issue with it. It melts into your hands, just like that original controller Nintendo wouldn't let go for 25 years. It's just that good, man. Ah, the Wii Remote. Gaming's favorite thing for a while there. The Wii Remote has a few knockoffs out there, and because of how precise the pointer functionality is, basically all of them suck. But that's okay, because mine doesn't. Yeah, this is actually one of my Wiimotes from childhood, and I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it used to have the Nintendo Wii logo on it down here, but it got scratched off. What I do know though is that this is not the one that came with my Wii. I don't know where that guy ran off to. But for years, I genuinely assumed this was just a normal Wiimote, alongside my other official ones, and used it as my main, to be honest. So hard, in fact, that 1 and 2 eventually rubbed out. You can't even see them anymore. It was actually only while making this video I got a little suspicious and opened the back and finally realized this is a replica controller. So this thing gets the award for best replica controller since it had me fooled for basically all my life. Good on you, bud. Yeah, that's the end of the segment. If you want to know how it feels, go pick up a Wii Remote. I promise you, zero difference. I couldn't even make a segment if I wanted to. It's that good. I don't even know where it came from, because if I did, I'd have these on mass order. It's that good. Now, I didn't say this was replica Nintendo controllers, did I? The PS4 controller breaks so goddamn much. I have 3 of them. So in comes the DualShock 4 controller. No, I'm not lying, that's its legal name. I picked this little guy up at a mom and pop gaming store. That's right, screw you CX. Because all my PS4 controllers have something wrong with them at this point. I got gold because it looks special. What can I say? I know what I like.
Now, holding this thing in the hand, you're gonna be immediately hit with that feeling of cheap plastic. So I'll just get this ready. No PlayStation logo on the home button.
Mom, can you come pick me up? I'm scared.
The face buttons are legally distinguishable, and they feel like identical to the originals, so it's pretty cool. The D-pad is a PlayStation D-pad. It does the job even though nobody ever uses it. I mean, it does feel identical to the original, but like I said, nobody ever uses this goddamn thing. We mostly focus on analog sticks, so it's there, it's present, it works. Build quality wise, I mean, I already talked about the cheap feeling plastic, but this thing just feels really light, super light, like way lighter than the original. I don't know if that means the original's heavy or this thing's really light, but probably the second one. The analog sticks just feel dead on with the original. I didn't get any delay or drift in gameplay or anything, so not much to report there.
The shoulder buttons and triggers feel spot on too. Oh. And the touchpad, options, and share buttons are also here. Can you tell this was the hardest part of the video to write? This controller is so similar to the original where it actually matters that all I can really say is good job, bud. So what's the takeaway from all of this? That I'm broke and the next episode should be about something a lot more interesting? Yeah, probably. Controllers are just an essential to the gaming experience. Everybody knows that. Because I mean, I grabbed the wrong thing. I grabbed the wrong thing. Cut. Yeah, so this thing suffers from some iron that's upside down. Fuck. NEGA!